Hello, my name is Rockma. Well, actually, it's Richard, and I need your help. Well, maybe not exactly your help, but somebody's help somewhere. Um, Essentially, I'm at a financial crossroads, and I have a goal in mind, but I don't know how to reach it. I consider myself pretty well studied for the time that I've invested, but it's not been very long. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to be reading off a Word document to keep my thoughts kind of in line, and this is my story. Essentially, the last year's been rough for me. I had some health issues that took away my ability to work for I've always been a workhorse, and now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to, as much as I would, as I usually am. Not only that, but with the challenges in my family, it's been rough saving money. It's been very rough, but I'm in a situation now that shines a ray of light, if you will. I'm excited. I'm in a better spot than I have been. But anyways, I'm a security expert. That's what I do. That's my skill. That's what I bring to the table. I do have a wide range of employable skills, not just security, but admin, management, data entry, database management, case management, protocol auditing, protocol auditing, and customer service and logistics. This basically becomes from me being a ex-parole officer, which shapes a lot of the paradigm that I look through the world in, as well as a retail manager. I have a bachelor's degree in administrative criminal justice. I currently work for the Army as a civilian in a job that I absolutely love. I mean, helping these soldiers transition, find jobs, find careers, help them with their budget, and extra benefits that are out there to make sure that these, guys who got, med boarded or whatever their situation is, move on to the next stage of their life. It's been a wonderful job for me. But the pay isn't quite what we need in order to reach our goals. If I could make M's goal meeting this job, I would never leave. But I'm not looking to get rich. I'm a very chill guy who lives within his means. I've always been that kind of guy. I've always been the guy to lower my expenses and not raise my income, which is very counterintuitive to the financial world. I didn't know this. I just learned this within my last couple months of looking at finances. I have a family of 4. I have 1 boy, 1 girl, and my wife. My daughter's 6 years old, and she's physically disabled. She's born with a disability, and sometimes that includes medical bills. However, I've been able to pay them off and keep them paid off for quite some time now. But it is something that I have to keep in the back of my mind as something that could happen. My son has no disability, no ongoing medical issues, and is a great little guy. My wife has a rare life-threatening condition called AHUS. She cannot work, which means no income. But when I say she can't work at all. No remotes, nothing like that. Right now she's going through the process of trying to get medical disability because she did work for so many years that it's she might be able to work off of the one where you get the money back for all the years that you put in. She used to be a hardworking lady working like 16, 18-hour shifts before we had kids easily. Definitely a harder worker than I am, and that's saying something because I like to think of myself pretty highly in that regard. She often requires help from myself around infusion times. For her, that's every 8 weeks. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks, just depending on how her condition is. She gets tired very quickly. Like I said, I can't account for any income that she may or may not have, including the Medicaid or the disability payments in this calculation. As of right now, she's been denied twice, so that's an ongoing fight. My wife used to work as a school teacher. She has a talent for helping people, and it's been one of the ways that I've been able to communicate and interact, and I've learned a lot of lessons on how to show and communicate empathy. by watching her interact at her job years ago. Without her added income, it's been difficult to make ends meet. However, because of certain circumstances that I put myself into, I've been able to save $49,000. So what's the goal? Well, I have a goal of starting a small investment fund and buying a house, moving to another state. State's Oklahoma. It's a lower cost of living, and we have a plot of family land that I've been allowed to put a house on. I initially thought that I was easily set up to attain this house, and then was told my income was not nearly enough. That was heartbreaking for me because I thought I was squared away. Initially, they said that they could give me $100K because my down payment of $35,000, looked to be enough. It was not. Now, if you count up all of debt I had when I started this process, I was at $14,500. And they told me to clear all of that and come up with an additional $20,000 on the down payment, saying that I had to do another a total of $55,000, pay off my 14.5, and then they could go ahead and give me the 100K, which is, or I'm sorry, the 130 or 155K, which is what I really originally asked for the house. I don't really want to go downgrading on the house, because the difference between a 120K house and a 155K house is pretty massive right now, and I have the one that I want, so that's where I'm going for. It's a manufactured. So as of today, I only have 3.5K of that debt left, so I've paid off 11.5, so that's gone. And it has an interest rate of 4% for 2.5% of the debts and 10% for 1.2K of the debts. I'm currently paying $800 a paycheck on my debts. I'm on track to have all of this paid off in around 2.5 months. A paycheck for me is every 2 weeks. Now, for the bad news is that I'm just shy of around $1,500. And I bring in like $1,500 left on that on one of that 10% card. Bringing in around $32K annually is what they evaluated my loan against, because that was the taxable income that they could show, other than the like big one-time payments. I actually bring in around $50K, but because it wasn't on a pay stub, even though it's on my taxes, but it's not on my pay stub, they're not counting it. And this is things like tax returns, Twitch, surveys, and PFDs, which, if you don't know what a PFD is, it's a permanent fund dividend that I get for living here in Alaska, which I will sincerely miss if I'm able to make it to Oklahoma. Now, currently, I have $49,000 in savings. I sold my trailer and currently live with my family to save money. It's a little embarrassing to be living back at home at 30 plus years old, but here we are. I'd do it for my family. To that degree, my bills are around $150 per paycheck. I give my wife around $300 every 2 weeks for spending on gas, food, children's stuff, nails, whatever she decides to spend it on. That's her money. I wish I could give her more, but that's where we're at. Which leaves me around $250 to spend on whatever. Oh, the $1,500 it was my paycheck. I read that wrong. Yeah, I make about $1,500 a paycheck. So that's how I've budgeted it all out. However, I will have to move out as soon as my folks plan to retire within about a year to a year and a half to 2 years, somewhere in that plan. They're going to sell their house, and then we'll also be moving to Oklahoma. But I'm not going to be able to be with them. I wouldn't want to. I need to be able to be out on my own. So I need to be gone in 6 to 9 months. So what's the plan? My action plan is that because I and at work I build people's budgets. That's what I do. I can do income, taxes. I can do not when I say tax, I mean tax ratio. I can see what bracket they're in and then reduce it from a budget. I can do basic budgeting for most folks. I can find the surpluses, the deficits. I can account for all the money and see where it's at. I have a very limited scope of what it would be to be a financial advisor. I can certainly learn that, and I have a knack and an appreciation for it, but I'm not there right now. However, I know that I'm completely screwed on the traditional routes of making 20K in 6 to 9 months. I don't even have that because the deadline of June 20th to get through my current financial review period means that I have, like 3.5 months left? Ugh. Alright, so even if I save $1,000 on every paycheck after I clear all my debts, which we've established is going to take about 2.5 months, right? I would still be short quite a bit because that's only like $3,000. So I would be short 17K. It sucks. Now, if you were to look at it and say 9 months out, I'd actually still be short. I'd still be short a couple thousand. And we'd have to live extremely frugally, which we're going to have to do either way. So, I understand that I will most likely have to reapply for the loan. I'm hoping I don't have to, but that's the life that I live. It's unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because that's the hand you're dealt. That's the hand you play. I wanted to make the most of my time before I left here because I feel like this is going to be the golden opportunity for me to be able to make the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. Because I am very, very fortunate that I don't have very many bills. I may have to look into renting when I'm in Tulsa, where I plan to work. That's just how it is, I think I looked into a couple different places. There's like one for like $900. It's pretty good. A gated community, close to commutes. 2-bedroom. We'll still be cramped. I'll still be having stuff in the background whenever I stream and make videos, but it's not the worst case scenario, right? However, instead of just saving every single dime, I've decided that I want to take a chance on my future and my family's future, which is scary to say, and it is. It's scary to be. It's scary to live. However, in my opinion, I can just be screwed, not having enough money, or I can be just as screwed if I'm down $5,000 from where I am now. Either way, the plan doesn't work. So, what does that mean? Well, if I can make my money work for me, there's a chance. Because I already have the side hustles. I could get a second job, but then I wouldn't be able to help out with the family. And if my wife needs me, then I'll get fired pretty fast from that. And it'll make me completely exhausted. So, before we go that route, we might, but before we go that route, we're going to try the money route. If the money can work for me and build itself, maybe I don't have to work myself into an early grave. So, I opened up a Robinhood account. I did a bunch of research, started watching every financial video I could find, and, read a bunch of stuff, read some financial books, and, tried to figure out how to do the thing. And I gotta say, I've also been spending more time on DoorDash and streaming, trying to scrape a few dollars a month just to help out, right? Set up the fund. And what I learned from my research is that after I read it, just so much financial literature on how to set yourself up, it was not helpful for my situation at all. It was, but not for my particular situation. In fact, all of the financial books say do not do this. Do not try and go make 20K in a year, or 20K in 6 months. It's not going to work. You'll have to put yourself in way too much risky things, and it'll flop. And I agree with them. It's a gamble. So, After not getting anything to move my ball forward, I decided to go to YouTube, and I watched over 200 hours. I kid you not, 200 hours in videos of investing and crypto. We'll talk about that later. They also said it's a long-term game, and what I'm trying to do will most likely end up with me losing all my money. That's okay. If the easy way would have worked in my life, I wouldn't be looking at investing at all. I've never looked at investing. I honestly just never bothered with it. It seemed like it was too hard to get into, and I was doing okay where I was at, so why bother? However, it's not working anymore. That's why we're here. The desperation to get my family to a better future is what I'm betting all of this chance on. All in all, I've been looking into the finance world for about 3.5 months. So, after I got my Robinhood account, it seems like most people start there, so why not? I also got an Exodus account, which is a crypto wallet account, and a Coinbase account. After what I watched I was pretty bullish on stocks. I thought stocks, this is how I'm going to be able to make my 20K in 6 months. Why not? Other people can do it. I can do it. Surely. I realized I would have to go big or have zero chance of reaching my goals. So, I went out and tried to find the biggest areas with the most growth. I found AI and tech. Seems simple enough. It's what's big right now. It's an emerging market. Why not? I put up my first investments in Nvidia, Tesla, PayPal, Palantir, Meta, Cloudflare, and Reddit. I watched refreshing the screen every couple seconds for days. It was completely unnecessary, but it taught me a lesson. It taught me the lesson of these stocks are not going to give me huge, gigantic swings and wins like I was looking for. I'd need something more volatile and potentially more profitable. Otherwise, I was going to have to be patient in looking for my win, and that's just not the plan right now. Then I heard about people being able to make a bunch of money on crypto and something called meme coins. So, I didn't pull the stocks out, I left them alone. I think they're good investments and eventually they'll pay off in the future. Turn this down just a hair. Now, this was the time frame right around the election, and it was my first introduction to crypto trading, right? And man, am I glad that this is what happened. I decided that, I'm lucky enough, I'll figure it out, I'm smart enough, I'll just pay attention. In gambling, they said that the lucky ones are the ones who lose early, because it teaches you restraint, it teaches you a lesson. That's exactly what happened to me. I took my $200 and I put it in a Trump and Melania coin. Right as they launched. I watched it go from 200 to 220 to 235 to 260, and now it currently sits at $50. I didn't understand how the market worked, and I got rug pulled. So, I keep these as a reminder just to be careful. That $150 or $250 loss, it still stings to this day, but I'm grateful for the lesson. That was my last time that I went into meme coins. I just don't know enough to be able to be productive on that end. I feel like I could lose my 5K in a couple of days. So, if I need something that's more risky than stocks, but less risky than meme coins, what is it? Well, I watched a video explaining to me that meme coins aren't really blue chip crypto. And what a blue chip crypto is. Basically, it's the top 5-ish cryptos, maybe the top 10-ish cryptos that are considered stable coins. They have wild swings in their worth, but usually end up either gaining slightly or keeping around the same level of value. However, every 4 years or so, there's something called a bull run. Looks like we're just at the beginning of one from what I can tell. And with a lot of the regulation and the money going into the crypto market, this might be my one opportunity to be able to make life-changing wealth. Really sucks that I need to spend it because I would love to be able to make life-changing wealth and then keep my investments and just see it go crazy, but that's not the goal. The goal is to get the house for my family. As I was doing this, I was actually gambling for free on the side. It's one of the hobbies that I love. I use fake coins on a site, and it just so happens to be with the crypto. Essentially, they give you a free dollar every day, and I've been doing that a little over a year. I was using the dollar to redeem for more virtual coins so I could keep playing the games. I built up a stockpile, and I just ended up having a couple $100 sitting in that wallet. So I figured out I would redeem it and make the money work for me, since, well, it's not even my money, but they gave it to me, so I guess it's my money now. So I traded it in for $100 in ETH, $100 in Bitcoin, $100 in XRP, $120 in Lite, and $30 in Solana. After watching these for a few days, I started researching them, and XRP at the time was having a rally. It jumped 15% in a few hours. It absolutely blew my mind that it was $100 and now it's $115. This is great. I was like, maybe this is the way. This is how I make my 20K. I just go all in on this thing and then catch it on one of these swings, and then my problems will be solved. Immediately the next day, it fell 17% and I was deflated. But after much more research into crypto, I found myself extremely interested in XRP. I bought my first crypto on Robinhood at $200 for $270. Now this is a big turning point for me because this is going from, money that the casino gave me for my daily dollar versus me buying something with my own money I bought off my paycheck since the meme coin, which luckily has not ended up with me losing 75% of its worth. So that's cool. However, and I lost my train of thought here. Oh, I even thought about putting even more money into it, and it was doing well until it had about a week and a half of bad days and crashed down to 230. I was so depressed that it had lost so much money because I was having flashbacks to the meme coins, and I thought to myself, oh shit, it's happening again. I got caught again, and I missed out on a huge opportunity to buy, which I should have done, and if it was me today, I probably would have. I know more about it now. However, I noticed that my $450 portfolio was going nuts every time crypto moved. That my Robinhood portfolio was going nuts every time crypto moved, and then I needed to start hedging my bets more. I got kind of bearish. So the next month was spent with me researching stocks, mostly in the S&P 500 and indexes. Trying to find good buys that aren't as risky as tech or AI, but were proven over time so that I could do something to recoup my losses if this plan goes tits up. Eventually, it would be nice not to just go down to zero, but have a tiny little bit of investments that maybe could appreciate over the long term in case I do end up losing $1,000 or $5,000. So as I'm investing, I'm looking at videos from experts in the field and YouTubers and all that kind of stuff. I go and I check my portfolio one day, and I got a notification. It was weird. I got an 8-cent dividend from an IBN, and I was like, "What in the world is a dividend? Do I have to pay it back?" I've heard the word before, but I didn't know. It never happened to me before. Did I lose my entire stock and only have 8 cents worth? Nope. It's not. It's actually apparently whenever you own a stock, they give you a small little prize back for being one of the team players. Essentially, if you own the stock, then sometimes the company will give you a dividend based on how much of that stock you own, which you can reinvest into more shares. It's pretty cool. And so I took my 8 cents and obviously I put it right back in. But up to this point, I got like a $50 of dividends, and I'm like, maybe this could make the 20K if I just go crazy. So I'm like, okay, how much would I have to reinvest Is this my infinite money glitch? Yeah, no, never mind that. It's an astronomical amount of money for me. It's not going to work. I can't make 20K on 6 months off of dividends. But they're interesting, they're nice. I went ahead and kept the stocks. Because again, the entire purpose behind it was to build a hedge and a little bit of a nest egg in case everything goes bad. I still have these things that maybe will help appreciate over time, maybe 5-10 years down the road, recoup my losses. So essentially at this point I'm back to square one, and I've used up a lot of time. You know, and as I'm doing this, I'm paying off debts and things of that nature. But yeah, I was just feeling really bearish on the whole stock market and the whole investing world. I was like, man, maybe I should just give up. But I kept reading and watching about finance about 5 to 6 hours a day. I was able to watch these markets and research a stock and predict it with about a 60% win rate. And so I would just choose a stock. I'd watch a video and they'd be like, go invest in this stock, 2025. It's going to go up 30% or whatever, right? And I'm like, okay. So I'd go in there, I'd watch it, and I'd research the company, and I'd see, you know, what are their values, what's their size, what have they made, what's their earnings, what's their losses, how do I think they're gonna fit in the social economic area of their sector. And then I would just write down what I think the stock's gonna be in like a day or two. And then I would come back and check, and like I said, I was about 60% right, which is amazing because before it just really felt like I was choosing a random ass stock and hoping that I did well because I knew the name of it. Which is awesome. But I didn't have any money to bet on any of them. It was all tied up, and I was feeling way too bearish to move it. This is the second time I lost out on money because I was afraid of losing. So I watched and waited and studied. I did my side hustles, investing the pennies I made, just to keep the numbers going up in the portfolio. Finally, at the beginning of this month in February, my stocks became profitable. Just barely, but they are. However, more importantly, I'm not scared of when they dip anymore. I just buy. It doesn't matter how much, whatever I can afford at the time, and then I add the value to my Excel sheet. I sell, and then I reinvest if it hits the value that I want. And so I've actually got a little bit of traction there. Now, the amount of money I put in the stock market is around $1,400, and my value is at $1,471. It's a $71 profit. It's not bad. It's really not, at least for me. Some people would be like, that's terrible. But for me, hey, it's pretty cool. Like 5% or 4%, something like that. For 3 months. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for it. However, this is nowhere near meeting my 20K for the house. But here's the thing. As I'm more in it and as I gain confidence and I make the deals and I do the trades, I'm gaining a lot more experience and feeling a lot more confident. And there's one stock, one asset that I feel really, really, really kind of bullish on. The more I learn about it, the more bullish I become. And it may be propaganda that I'm falling for a trick. I've heard about the stories of watching out for the hype, right? But it's particularly XRP that I'm excited about, and the role that it plays for international banking and the fast rate of exchange that it has as a crypto. I love the idea that if I have two banks and they're trying to do international business, they both hold XRP and they can do their business. There's no waiting for a couple days for assets to go through. Everybody gets their money and their assets quickly. I think that it could definitely have a place in the world economy, even if it's not pushed by a current administration, or if a future administration doesn't like it. I think that once it takes hold, it'll be there. And the fact is that it's just about to get verified, or whatever the terminology is, just like Bitcoin did last year, and it jumped considerably. So I think it jumped from like 40K to like 60K when that happened. I think XRP could 10x, maybe more. Some people are like, it's going to 30, it's going to 100x. I don't know about that, but I think I could see where the value of the asset, the value that it brings to the market, 10x is the stock. So I currently have $1,150 in crypto between the two wallets. I have 500 in Exodus, and I have 600 in Robinhood. In total, that brings my complete investment of XRP to $700, right? If you take everything together, I've got just below 2K, about 1,900, 700's in our XRP. So it's a large portion of my profile. However, I'm thinking about putting 1,000 in. If it drops down to 230 again, I'm 100% putting $1,000 into it. I may end up putting $5,000 into XRP, which, hey, that's all eggs in one basket. If I lose my ass on it, it's my own fault. It's excessively dumb, an awful idea, but I need an excessively dumb and awful idea in order for this to pay off. That's the whole plan, right? I'm not here for the 10, 15, 20 year plan down the road. I will 100% be that guy once this house is set. But for now, I need to do something risky and stupid. So, I'm planning on doing a Hail Mary, all in on XRP at some point. Not with the other $1,400 that I've made, that little nest egg, right? But with additional funds, 1,000 to 5,000 potentially in XRP in the next couple months. If I can find a good deal, I'm taking it. This is my educated guess to buy a house for my family. A lot of folks, myself included, think XRP will go crazy sometime this year. I'm hearing it's around, maybe August. I think it might be a little sooner than that because of the whole, it's got a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement around it. And there's been a lot of market manipulation from what I believe are hedge funds and big boys playing in the market trying to liquidate people out. So, now here comes to the part of the video where I ask for help. I could do all of this, or I could just keep my losses to a minimum, push back the house for buying, the house buying date a year or two, go rent to Tulsa, pay my $800 a month in rent. Maybe that's a smart move. Maybe that's what a normal person would say is a good idea. I don't know. I have no idea. I've gone so back and forth in my head like 100 times on the different scenarios. But at the end of the day, $500K is not, or I'm sorry, $5,000 is not going to make or break me. But it might, if it 10x's and it turns into 50K, that would solve all my problems. 50K would literally solve every problem that I have right now. So, if you know something that I should look at or watch or research that I should, educate myself on, please feel free. Down in the comments section or that about tab on the video, I'll have my email, rockma0777@gmail.com, or you can just leave a comment down below. Otherwise, if you've watched this whole thing, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This is just this is my story, and I felt like sharing it.